So ALPAKA recently dropped the Ultradyne collection, and it's featuring their new in-house developed Ultradyne material.
Aerotyne, yeah. Aerotyne, huh? Yeah.
And as an inspiring material nerd myself, I definitely wanted to get my hands on it, wanted to check it out and see what it is for myself. So in today's video, we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna talk about what exactly Ultradyne is. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and opinions based on the material so far, and how it stacks up against some of the other popular laminates on the market like X-Pac and Ultra. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, let's unpack all the details of Ultradyne from ALPAKA. ALPAKA is a brand I definitely keep my eye on because I feel like they're always innovating at all levels when it comes to soft goods, whether that's new bag designs, developing their own custom hardware in the form of mag locks, but really interestingly, the development of new materials like Ultradyne. In the past, we've seen things like the Axle Flux ripstop. We've also seen the Axle Grid. And then of course, there's always some sort of X-Pac in the lineup for ALPAKA. And there's a few other proprietary materials I actually don't have hands on right now. I mean, we could literally do a whole video just on ALPAKA materials, but I want to try to stay out of the weeds as much as possible and kind of stick to just the Ultradyne. And I picked mine up here in the Flight Satchel. Now, I recently reviewed the Flight Satchel about 3 months ago. So if you're looking for an in-depth full review of the Flight Satchel, link in the description. TLDR, awesome bag. Currently my favorite ALPAKA bag in the current lineup. And if you're thinking about picking one up and you want to support the channel, there's going to be an affiliate link in the description as well as a discount code for that. But let's dive into exactly what is Ultradyne. Now, the first and outermost layer of this material is made up of 60% UHM WPE fibers. Now, those fibers are going to be incredibly strong. It's the same stuff they use like in body armor when they're constructing that. And then the other 40% is going to be recycled polyester mixed in there to help give this bag a little bit of suppleness. The second layer is a recycled nylon cross grid. That's going to give the bag a little bit of structure, but more importantly, it's what gives its bag its puncture and tear resistant. And behind that is a 100% recycled PET backing, and that's just to help protect the overall material from the backside. There's going to be really two key takeaways from the construction of Ultradyne. The first one being the way that the UHM WPE fibers are mixed and combined and constructed with the recycled polyester. It's going to make this bag extremely weather and water resistant. I mean, the water just naturally beads off without any additional chemical coatings, DWR coatings, so this bag is going to be PFAS free. So that's awesome. And the second key takeaway is that at all 3 layers of Ultradyne, they're using recycled materials. So from a sustainability standpoint, makes this a great option and great fabric. Now, I'm not sure how well the gray is picking up on camera, but it is a lovely shade of gray. And just for reference, in case you're familiar with 200X Ultra Gray, it is almost an identical shade of gray to my 200X CTR here. So I love a matching set, and these are pretty close enough where I would consider them a matching set. I'm seeing an explosion of gear being made in Ultra 200X, so maybe they'll be part of the conversation going forward, but for right now, I think that Ultra 400X is the most popular version, and for X-Pac, I would definitely say VX21 is the most popular version, and ironically, my least favorite version of X-Pac, which we can have a whole X-Pac conversation. Comment down below if you want to know exactly what versions of X-Pac that I like and I recommend. Now, all these technical fabrics have stats. They've been tested in the laboratory. So how does the Ultradyne stack up against the Ultra, the X-Pac, and other ripstops like the Axle Flux ripstop? So I'm gonna go ahead and throw a stat sheet up on the screen for you, so you feel free to give that a pause to get a better look at those numbers. So if you look at these numbers that were found in laboratory testings on the performance of these materials, you can see that the Ultradyne just absolutely crushes the VX21, and of course it's going to outperform the ripstop. But that was really surprising to me, and I didn't include it on the screen, but also VX42, the 100D Ultradyne will outperform the 420 denier face fabric of VX42. So I thought that that was really interesting. So it's an incredibly strong fabric. Now, it's not going to be as strong as Ultra 400. That one's definitely going to reign supreme with the higher abrasion and higher tear resistance. Now, in case you're wondering how they rate the tear resistance, you're going to see things like fill and wrap, and it's going to give you some weights. And what fill and wrap really mean to you is that fill and wrap really denotes the direction of the tear, whether the tear is running this way or the tear is running this way. And how they test that is they put a tear into the material and they measure the force of how much force it takes to continue the tear this way and how much force it continues to make the tear this way. So you're going to see different numbers on fill and wrap because of the different way the weave is woven into the face fabric. So that's really going to give you some extra strength or less strength depending on the direction of the tear. So that's really what fill and wrap means. So while it's not as good as Ultra 400X, it's still an incredibly lightweight material that is super duper strong. And in case you're wondering about the abrasion test, I think they put the material down on a flat surface and then they have these abrasive wheels just go around it in circles and they count how many cycles it takes to tear the fabric. So at 3,600, I believe the number was for the 100D Ultradyne. In my opinion, that's incredibly impressive. Now, of course, Ultra is complete overkill and I tell that to everybody. It's one of my favorite fabrics. This is my GR1. I love Ultra 400, but for everyday carry, it is just out of this world overkill. And you can even see that the Ultradyne, even in a 100 denier, is incredibly robust, especially for everyday carry. Now, who are these fancy fabrics actually for? Now, if you want my opinion, and it's my opinion, so take this with a grain of salt, the average everyday carry, average user, the average Joe is going to be perfectly fine with the Axo Flux ripstop or any kind of ripstops from other brands, whether it's nylon or polyesters. To me, it's going to be enough weather resistance, affordable pricing, a good balance in weight for most everyday carry people. Now, if you want something a little bit stronger, this is where we get into the laminates here. And I think X-Pac is really going to be the nice blend between weight, durability, performance, and this has a proven track record. It's going to cost you a little bit more, and the Ultra 400 is just complete overkill. Unless you're in a high abuse situation for like camping and hiking and where this bag's gonna get tossed around a lot and you want the most robust material out on the market right now, your Ultra variants of 200, 400, and 800X are gonna be the complete overkill for EDC. Now, I believe that Ultradyne lands right about here when you're looking at materials. You're gonna have the ripstop, more affordable stuff on this side. Your X-Pac, it's gonna be here in the middle, a good balance of weight, price, and durability. And then this is gonna fall between the Ultra and the X-Pac here. I'm really impressed by this 100 denier Ultradyne material. It's pretty lightweight. Ironically, when I weighed these two bags on the scale, they weighed the exact same amount. So it's like a optical or physical illusion that this bag just feels naturally lighter weight than the ripstop brother here, but it's going to be a good balance in price, performance, and materials, considering or comparing it to the ripstop and X-Pac. Now, we still have some questions about Ultradyne because we don't have no long-term data on how this material holds up over time. That's something that will be answered in, the next 5 years, while X-Pac does have that track record and we know how it performs and holds up over time. So there is still that big asterisk and question mark to the Ultradyne material. But if I'm looking at the lineup of bags and I have to choose between these materials, I'm gonna lean towards the Ultradyne here. It has a nice weight to it. It doesn't have any DWR coating, so it's never gonna lose that weather resistance. So I think that that's where it excels over X-Pac and Ultra, because the Ultra and X-Pac are waterproof, just like the Ultradyne here, the material itself. But that waterproofness is a laminated layer inside the material, whereas it's inherently built in to the Ultradyne. So delamination can occur, and delamination happens. It's a real thing. I just think it's a bigger issue on the internet than it is in real life. Now, you can still use a delaminated bag. It's going to function just fine. You're just going to lose that weather resistance typically when you have a coating or anything delaminating from a bag, including the zippers. But I'll link an article down from Tom Ben that talks about delamination if you want to deep dive that rabbit hole here. So we still have that to see. If this delaminates, you're really losing that backing layer protection. You're not going to really lose the weather resistance because it's inherently built in. So that's where it has some advantages over even the more robust Ultra material. So what are my honest thoughts and opinions on the Ultradyne material itself? We already know I love the bag. I am a huge fan of laminate fabrics, whether it be Ultra, Dyneema, X-Pac, whatever it is. I love the techiness, I love the technology, I love the numbers and the laboratory performance results that are all associated with these materials. It's just a nerd thing in me. I love being able to know that this thing is 100% waterproof up to 200 PSI. Am I ever gonna be shot with a 200 PSI water cannon? Probably not, but I know that up to 200 PSI I will be totally covered. Those little things, it's just the nerd in me. It tickles that little joy factor for me. So again, if you're not a fan of technical fabrics, you don't like Ultra, you don't like X-Pac, probably not gonna be the material for you. Now, I like this material a lot. I think the 100D provides a good balance in softness and malleability that you get from the ripstop, but also that rigidity that you typically get from laminated fabric. So I think it's a nice blend in between the two. It definitely has a plasticky feel to it. It's also very smooth, and that's one thing that I really like because I own a whole pack of wild animals and my 2 labs just shed incredibly. So being able to resist that pet and dust hair is a real thing for me. So I love that there. So not only is it repelling water, I can easily keep any pet hair and dust right off of it as well. It's a low maintenance material. The weatherproofing is baked in. I mean, there's just a lot to like about the material. Even the shade of gray itself is one thing that I really enjoy. One thing I really noticed about the material and I actually really like is how subtle the nylon cross ply is on the bag. You really have to get a good look at it to notice the cross ply compared to the VX21. If you look at that close up, I mean, the X patterning is very noticeable. It's a little less subtle on VX42 because of that thicker denier face fabric, but the X-Pac is really known for having that cross-ply poke through, so it's very subtle and adds a nice hint of element, a texture to the bag versus being loud and in your face. Now, in my opinion, the 100D Ultradyne compares best hand feel wise to Dyneema. So if you're familiar with Dyneema, to me, that's exactly what the Ultradyne feels like. It feels like a Dyneema. It has that crunch, just like Dyneema. It doesn't patina so far like Dyneema, so that might be huge for some people who want that Dyneema look and feel without the crumpliness. But again, that's something that we'll have to gather data on, you know, another couple of months, years down the line on the patina. It's also pretty comparable to Dyneema as far as sound. Now let's cut to some B-roll of different sound testing that I did now. So in summary, from my opinion, if you're on the ALPAKA website and you're debating between the Axle Flux and the ripstop, well, at the end, I don't think that there's a wrong choice, but I would lean towards the Ultradyne, especially if your weather resistance is important to you. This bag is extremely weather resistant. You don't have to worry about any coatings, any chemicals sprayed onto the bag, nothing peeling over time as far as the weatherproofing. And also the sustainability aspect of the bag, using recycled materials at all aspects of the construction of the Ultradyne is also very important. I think that it's easily worth the $20 upgrade to get an incredibly more robust bag as far as abrasion resistance, the tear strength. I mean, if you're looking for an end game bag, something that you're gonna not have to replace for years to come, while I think you'll get many, many good years out of the ripstop, the Ultradyne arguably is going to be the stronger, better, tougher material. But like always, I would love to know your thoughts on the Ultradyne material from ALPAKA. It's been out for several weeks now, so I know that customers already have it in hand. So if you're watching this video, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on the Ultradyne material. I am an instant fan, like I mentioned earlier. I love the material, I love the crinkliness, I love the nylon cross ply. Is very subtle. It gives this bag a nice little visual texture. But another thing too that I failed to mention is that the Ultradyne here comes with this vibrant orange interior. So something that I like. Nothing wrong with neutral gray on the regular version, but I just like a little spice of color in my bags when I'm able to get them. So definitely a huge fan of the Ultradyne, but let me know your thoughts and opinions, especially how I think it's best compared to Dyneema without the side effects of Dyneema. So again, personal opinion, but let me know your thoughts. I haven't gotten my hands on the Traverse backpack just yet, but if they release it in an Ultradyne variant, that might be enough for me to make that purchase. I've been very curious about the bag. I love this material, so that might be enough for me. But out of curiosity, which products, bags, or line of products would you like to see Alpaca make next in this Ultradyne? Very curious to hear your opinions on that. Now, if you have any more questions about Ultradyne or any of the materials that we did or didn't talk about today, definitely put your questions down in the comments below. I respond to every single one, and I love talking gear, materials, and nerding out about all things carry. So I want to say thank you to Alpaca for sending the Ultradyne flight satchel out for me to make this comparison video for you today. And if you like videos like this, or if you found any value in today's video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. That directly supports me and the channel. And according to my analytics, about 80% of my viewers aren't subbed up yet. So if you like deep dives, gear, travel gear, material talks, definitely get subbed up so I can see you on my next video review.